It is the beginning of the Taylor Swift Tis the Damn Readathon. I have one book that I'm carrying over from February, and that is Kindred by Octavia Butler. I'm not quite halfway through, but I would like to finish this within the next 2 days so that I can get started on either House of Leaves or In the Dream House. My intention is to start House of Leaves first because it is the most intimidating book on my TBR. It's the one that I'm scared I'm not going to understand, or that I'm just I don't know. But it's because of that, I also am very hesitant to start it. So I think starting with a book I am pretty sure I'm going to love, In the Dream House, may be a better bet. I will check in with you probably after work today. Good morning. Happy March 3rd. I am checking in because I finished Kindred this morning, which was amazing to no one's surprise. Again, as I said, I'm heading into work, so I brought In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado with me. I get maybe 20 minutes of a break. I'm a nanny temporarily, so yes, let's go. In the Dream House updates. I couldn't put it down last night. I did not finish it, but I just couldn't stop reading it. I like the way Carmen Maria Machado is providing these footnotes, or I guess citations, specifically to this folk book, this book on folk themes, themes in folklore and folk tales. And it's definitely making me read the sections as if the book was this collection of folk tales. I think I'm about 60 pages in, but I don't know, the way that these stories, the stories in collections of folk tales have this formula of providing conflict and a moral and supposed to teach you something. And I think that that's a really interesting thing to think about alongside what Carmen Maria Machado is talking about. I've been thinking about how with difficult subjects, I find myself often being oh, this is hard to read about. And what does it mean when thematically or content-wise a book is hard to read about, but the author crafts it in a way that is so readable and gripping? So yeah, kind of just the relationship between emotionally taxing things to read about versus the craft of a book. So yeah, I am gonna eat some breakfast and make my lunch and make some tea. Ooh, I know what tea I'm gonna make. Okay, so I ordered some teas from my local tea shop, and they sent me a sample tea, which is Lady Londonderry. I don't know, but it looks like it's a black tea, and I'm gonna try this. Okay, so let's see about this tea. Ooh, it's kind of citrusy. I think there's orange. We shall see. Greetings from this questionable lighting. I'm about to go to sleep, but I realized I'm having thoughts about In the Dream House that I want to record before I forget them. It's amazing. I'm about halfway through now and it's very good. But Specifically, I've been thinking about the way that Carmen Maria Machado uses perspective and like first person versus second person, and that the majority of the book, at least thus far, is written in second person. The way she does it very strongly reflects the perception of ourselves as being like different. Please, my cat is ready for me to go to sleep. Anyway, differences between ourselves, temporally and situationally. And I think probably especially when thinking about moments of trauma and like extended moments or extended situations of trauma, that is even stronger. But I like the way she's done it. Like, it's so smart, it's so brilliant. I think that yes, we are the sum of our experiences, and more, we're the sum of our thoughts, and more. And like who we are is simultaneously a combination of every version of ourselves we've ever been, and like also different, and it's yes. But I think recognizing the ways that like we can like reflect back and find it impossible to see ourselves as the person that we were before, as a person that we were before. And a comment on the art of memoir writing, memoir making, of telling stories of our lives is directly engaging with the fact that we can step back and look at our lives like from a new perspective, from a new time period, but also like we are coming at it with all of the baggage that we have and all of the experiences that we have, and it's really brilliant. I love all of the film analysis because I think it's also something that like we are a combination not only of like who we are, but also what we consume and what we think about. Like meaningful essays and meaningful movies and like media or fiction that reminds us of our situation or reminds us of ourselves or like changes us, is like it becomes part of the fabric with which we, or it becomes part of the lens with which we view the world, I guess. Man, I'm rambling. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm really excited to continue reading this. I would love to finish it tomorrow, but I also don't want to rush it. Hello, it is Friday, March 4th. And it's like evening, and I've been just sitting and reading in the dream house. I just finished the Dream House as Mrs. Dalloway section, which, like, unsurprising to me, just hit so hard for me, because like I love Mrs. Dalloway. Like, that text is this like really important thing for me. It also includes a reference to Alice in Wonderland, and then like the previous section also has a reference to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which is another like text that like I hold close to my heart. And I don't know, I've been thinking about how to think about this book, mostly because I can't stop thinking about it. And like, I love books that make me feel something. Usually they end up being sad books. And I love books that feel like collages and feel like like this collection, books as collections of ideas, that's not very profound, but I like that. I like things to feel like a collage, like not everything would typically be collected together, but they are. What I don't really remember where I was going with that. Oh, I've been thinking that there are certain parts where it feels like Carmen Maria Machado is analyzing her situation. Is that not what a memoir is? I don't think the answer is always yes. But when she talks about film and like quotes feminist film theorists like Marianne Doan and provides these like external analyses as stand-ins, maybe, for her directly analyzing her own past as a text, as a document, as a film, as a scene. There are points where I want to be like, this is a masterpiece, this is genius, but I feel like those words aren't appropriate. And I'm not the person to say whether they are or not. I am just a reader. But I hesitate to look at the book and see the the layers of like vulnerability and like combing through the experience and providing analyses and providing these like different offshoots to go into, and like the technical craft of it, which is so greatly executed. This is an experience. I am concerned that in saying it's genius and it's a masterpiece and it's brilliant as a work, that almost like does a disservice to recognizing the abuse. I don't know. What am I saying? This book is making me feel a lot of things, and it's making me think a lot of things, and those are pretty much the things that need to be checked off. Before reading this, I don't think I knew that I was going to care this much. I knew I was going to like it. I knew I was going to think it was a good book. I knew it was going to be something that was like what I like to read. Wow. Am I shaking this camera? Yes. Camera, phone. Let's be honest. But how can we ever predict the ways that we are going to love a book, the parts we're going to love, the devices that will connect with us and make us feel things and make us think? Like, this is just getting into what does it mean to read? What does it mean to like have an experience reading? There's part of me that wants to finish it tonight, but I've also been sitting in the same spot and reading it, and I feel like my body needs a little bit of a break, like emotionally. Was it this morning that I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna finish this? I finished it. Like, I'm trying to think, I'm like, when was the last time I read a book that was like emotionally affected me in this way? And I think Freshwater by Akwaeke Emezi is kind of similar. I think one of the things that is interesting is how Carmen Maria Machado uses uses POV, so first person versus second person. And we get these moments where she's talking about where she's writing the book. For me, like, what I picked up from that is like a greater emphasis on where she's writing it and like the fact that she's writing it, and less like, here's how I did it. All of those moments are just like, the emphasis is Carmen Maria Machado is in a different spot. And writing and the past, and like so much of it feels like this communication to the like between the past and the reflecting self, whether that self is like the present self or like another past self. I'm gonna have to sit with this one. I don't think I'm gonna read anything else tonight. It's past 9:30 on a Friday evening, and I'm probably going to go to bed soon. I'm just waiting for one of my roommates to get back. I have a little bit of time right now to check in. Can you? Nice. I started reading White Sands Red Menace by Ellen Cleggs this morning, which isn't part of like the top 5 books that I'm trying to read this month, but after reading In the Dream House, I needed a break, so like reading some YA historical fiction or like middle grade historical fiction felt like a nice like a good thing to do before jumping into House of Leaves. Yeah. Every time I say or think House of Leaves, I think Leaves of Grass, which is Walt Whitman and not what I'm reading. Hello. So I just vacuumed and like put the rug that I got under our couch, which was very fun to do on my own. I'm currently the only one home. I've been thinking about In the Dream House all day, and particularly I passed a U-Haul, what is it called? Not a U-Haul store, but like a place that had U-Haul rentals. And I was thinking about like the U-Haul stereotype and the way that like U-Hauling and the U-Haul has this promise, you might say, this promise of a house, the promise of queer domesticity, or like domestic bonds. I don't know, that doesn't sound right, but like a shared domestic space, a shared home space. And like the way that plays into domestic abuse and partner abuse, and also the utopia, the desire for queer relationships, specifically between women. U-Haul as utopia, U-Haul as domestic utopia. Maybe I should write a paper. U-Haul the domestic utopia. Queer domestic utopia in blah 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 blah. I'm gonna read some more of White Sands Red Menace. I was getting a little bored with it, actually. I'm not that far through. I think I'm like 40 pages, but I'm going to read more of that. Have I explained in here what this is about? It's historical fiction, this book is set directly after World War II has ended, and follows these 2 girls whose fathers worked as scientists on a military base, doing stuff. So yeah, it's interesting, and I know like junior high me would have really loved it. Like probably 6th grade India would have been super into it. Hello. I just filmed another clip, so hopefully editing me will not be too confused. I'm currently parked in like a neighborhood, like on the street of a neighborhood. I'm here to update you on my reading. So I read a couple more chapters of White Sands Red Menace, but before that I started House of Leaves because I was like feeling it. It's like I should start this now. And oh boy, I'm excited. It is definitely giving me Pale Fire Vladimir Nabokov vibes, which is a book I had to read for my senior seminar class as an English major. And now can only kind of tell you what it's about, but it features this like narrator who is telling the story and like providing the narrative that presumably another person has written. Also, I realized unintentionally this TBR that I've set myself is very house themed. So in the dream house, House of Leaves, we have always lived in the castle. Like those are all like haunted house-esque books, or books that center around houses or places where people live. I wonder if I subconsciously did that because of the bingo board is set up like a house. Maybe. I wouldn't put it past myself to accidentally do that. Good evening. I'm eating some banana bread. That's really good. I'm also cold and like sitting in front of the heater. I could put my sweater back on. I'll probably do that shortly. I've done approximately no reading today. I don't think even like approximately. I've done exactly no reading today, which is fine. I was hanging out with my roommate who normally works nights and sleeps during the day, but she didn't have work the past couple days, so we got to hang out, and that was fun. I'm also uploading my February wrap-up, which I refilmed and did, and I'm excited about it. I did it in a like get ready with me style, and I really enjoyed that. It kind of helped me take my mind off of like feeling pressured to articulate myself in a certain way about books, about reading, because I was focused on something else. So I think I'm gonna continue doing that. I mean, we'll see with March. But I think that'd be fun to have that be just like what I do, because sometimes I feel a little unsure about how to approach wrap-ups. Anyway, I think I'm gonna continue. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up House of Leaves. I keep wanting to say Leaves of Grass. House of Leaves, and get a good chunk of the way through that. Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm pretty sure I'm alone. Famous last words though, so if one of my roommates walks in, that you can't see me. It is Tuesday. I think this is gonna be the last day I vlog, A, because I start work tomorrow, and B, if I want to continue vlogging, I think I'm just gonna do weeks at a time. So yes, I just got back from like job onboarding, which was super exciting, and I'm really excited, which is great. I'm glad I feel that way. And yeah, I am going to, oh, there's the kitty. Hi. She's been hiding under the bed because we moved the bed to accommodate my dresser and nightstand. What? So yes. Do I have anything else to say? I don't think so. I'm gonna make myself some lunch, read a bit, call some people to like clarify stuff, and